G2B, operating effectively, band plans, drills and emergencies, races operation, G2B01C, 97.101B, C. Which of the following is true concerning access to frequencies? A. Nets have priority. B. QSOs in progress have priority. C. Except during emergencies, no amateur station has priority access to any frequency. D. Contest operations should yield to non-contest use of frequencies. G2B02B. What is the first thing you should do if you are communicating with another amateur station and hear a station in distress break-in? A. Inform your local emergency coordinator. B. Acknowledge the station in distress and determine what assistance may be needed. C. Immediately decrease power to avoid interfering with the station in distress. D. Immediately cease all transmissions. G2B03C. What is good amateur practice if propagation changes during a contact, creating interference from other stations? Using the frequency? A. Advise the interfering stations that you are on the frequency and that you have priority. B. Decrease power and continue to transmit. C. Attempt to resolve the interference problem with the other stations in a mutually acceptable manner. D. Switch to the opposite sideband. G2B04B. When selecting a CW transmitting frequency, what minimum separation from other stations should be used to minimize interference to stations on adjacent frequencies? A. 5 Hz to 50 Hz. B. 150 Hz to 500 Hz. C. 1 kHz to 3 kHz. D. 3 kHz to 6 kHz. G2B05C. When selecting an SSB transmitting frequency, what minimum separation should be used to minimize interference to stations on adjacent frequencies? A. 5 Hz to 50 Hz. B. 150 Hz to 500 Hz. C. 2 kHz to 3 kHz. D. Approximately 6 kHz. G2B06A. How can you avoid harmful interference on an apparently clear frequency before calling CQ on CW or phone? A. Send QRL on CW, followed by your call sign, or if using phone, ask if the frequency is in use, followed by your call sign. B. Listen for 2 minutes before calling CQ. C. Send the letter V in Morse code several times and listen for a response, or say test several times and listen for a response. D. Send QSY on CW, or if using phone, announce the frequency is in use, then give your call sign and listen for a response. G2B07C. Which of the following complies with commonly accepted amateur practice when choosing a frequency on which to initiate a call? A. Listen on the frequency for at least 2 minutes to be sure it is clear. B. Identify your station by transmitting your call sign at least 3 times. C. Follow the voluntary band plan. D. All these choices are correct. G2B08A. What is the voluntary band plan restriction for U.S. stations transmitting within the 48 contiguous states in the 50.1 MHz to 50.125 MHz band segment? A. Only contacts with stations not within the 48 contiguous states. B. Only contacts with other stations within the 48 contiguous states. C. Only digital contacts. D. Only SSDV contacts. G2B09A. 97.407A. Who may be the control operator of an amateur station, transmitting in races to assist relief operations during a disaster? A. Only a person holding an FCC-issued amateur operator license. B. Only a race's net control operator. C. A person holding an FCC-issued amateur operator license or an appropriate government official. D. Any control operator when normal communication systems are operational. G2B 10B. Which of the following is good amateur practice for net management? A. Always use multiple sets of phonetics during check-in. B. Have a backup frequency in case of interference or poor conditions. C. Transmit the full net roster at the beginning of every session. D. All these choices are correct. G2B11C. 97.407D. 4. How often may races, training drills, and tests be routinely conducted without special authorization? A. No more than 1 hour per month. B. No more than 2 hours per month. C. No more than 1 hour per week. D. No more than 2 hours per week.